Yes, hello, my good fans out there. I still remain Dr. D.I. June, your lecturer on chemistry. But this time around, we are going on with biology. So we are treating the topic genetics, heredity, and variation. Our last lecture was the introductory part of this topic. Now, if you look at the topic here, we have three variables. We have genetics, heredity, and variation. So I want to discuss genetics. What is genetics? Now, listen to what I have in my note, then we explain together. Genetics could be defined as the scientific study of heredity and variation in living things. I take it again. Genetics could be defined as what? The scientific study of heredity and variation in living organisms, which is plants and animals. Now, in other words, genetics may be described as the science that deals with the questions and answers on inheritance. In other words, genetics is described as that science that deals with the questions and the answers on what? Inheritance. So, the study of genetics dates back so many years ago, several years ago, in man's curiosity to find out mechanism for transmission of characters from parents to children. So this study of genetics has been existing many, many years ago. How men became very curious. How is it that monkey will give birth to monkey and it will resemble the monkey? Why that human being will give birth to human beings, to children, and they look like the parents, or look like the mother or the father? So this puzzled many scientists to find out how is these characters inherited from parents to offspring, and they looked into it many, many years ago. Now, in the year 1770, so many years ago, so many centuries ago now, a certain crossbreeder by name Kaluta worked with tobacco plants. Carl Rutter, let me write it for you. Kilruter. Carl Rutter. He was the one that was working with tobacco plants. And this curiosity came and it was crossbreeding plants to see how these characters are transferred or transmitted from parents to offspring. He made crosses of different varieties of plants and produced hybrid. Like now, if this is plant A and this is plant B, and there are two different breeds, if I crossbreed them, the result of what I have is called hybrid. This is plant A, plant B. Maybe this is black in color, and maybe this is red in color. And then I crossbreed them, and maybe the result is pink, or maybe the result is white, or maybe some part is green and some part is yellow. Then I will now question myself. It was black and white that I crossbreeded. So why this pink color? Why this green and this past color? That will now spur me up to find out what might have transpired in between the two plants I crossbreeded that led to that result. So that was what this man, Kalaruta, did. So a hybrid is what? Is the combination of two or more different things to create something new. See, hybrid is the combination of two or more things, different things, but to create what? A new thing. That is hybrid. But in this context, a hybrid is an animal or a plant that has parents of different species or varieties. That is hybrid. In this context now, hybrid is a plant or an animal that has a parent, and these parents are of different varieties. Now, for example, now, Mr. A is from a different family background, and Mrs. A from a different background. So, Mr. A and Mrs. B and Mrs. A, they have married, but they are from different parent background, and they come together to produce offspring or progeny or children that will look like them or look like the grandfather of the wife or the grandfather or grandmother of the father. So these are what we want to know about. And when that happens, the child is called a hybrid. Now, this Karl Ruther also recognized that parental characters were transmitted both by the pollen grains and the ovules of the plant. However, studies of heredity before year 1866 were not conclusive. Now, when we say pollen grains, now those of you who are doing biology out there, in the flowers of a plant, you have the anthers, you have the stigma, you have the pollen grains, you have the petals, you have the sepals, right? We have the stalk, we have the ovules. These are both reproductive part of the plant, both the male and female part. So now this man crossbreeded. In other words, it takes the ovule of a female flower and use the anthers, the pollen grains from the anthers of a male flower, and pollinated the stigma of another flower with a different characteristics. And at the end, he discovered that the result, some of them resemble the original plants, some resemble with different colors. And that began to puzzle him to go into more analysis. Why is this so? The transfer of these characters, how does it come about? But we are saying that in 1866, these activities were going on, but they were inconclusive. So please like it, comment. Also, follow me, subscribe my YouTube. Thank you.